All right, what is good? What is happening, everybody? It is your boy Primitive AK here. We're back with another video for you guys today. We are here with the brain dead challenge of the day, and that's going to be the bullet storm challenge for the LMGs, the first tier, where you essentially have to suppress enemies with LMGs. By golly, this challenge is brain dead. All right, just like the last challenge, it is pretty freaking brain dead. There is no amount of skill involved with this thing. It's just a matter of luck and pray and hope that you're trash at the game. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. Now, before we get into the actual gameplay of how this is done, there is a bit of a setup to this. So I don't want you guys using the wrong setup. So I'm going to show you guys how it works. As you can see, I just played a match and I got 25. I think it was I was at 53. So yeah, about 23 suppressions in one game. So it is going to be a bit of a slow burn on getting this done, but rest assured, you will get it done. The hip fire, you can just get that done naturally by hip firing. That's not hard at all. But this one is giving people a lot of headaches. So let me first start off by saying, if you are good at the game, all right, you're going to suffer on this challenge. If you are bad at the game, you're probably going to have a bit of an easier time on getting this done. And the reason for that is because the way suppression works on LMGs, first of all, you need to hit roughly 4 to 5 shots. Not when I say hit, I mean you need to land 4 to 5 shots around the enemy within 5 meters. Notice how I said around. Yes, that means the bullets need to go within 5 meters of the target that you are shooting, and you need to have up to 4 to 5 bullets within that little bubble of the enemy that you're shooting at. And it cannot be on the enemy. It has to be around the enemy. That is how you get suppression. And unfortunately, they've nerfed suppression over the years on Battlefield. It used to be a lot stronger, but they've made it a lot more difficult to land suppression. So that's what makes this challenge just a bit of a headache. So, like I said, now you know why I said if you're inaccurate or you're not a very good player, you'll have an easier time on getting this done. Now let's talk about now that you know how suppression works, you will have to do 300 of these. Yeah, it's a complete headache. But like I said, once you do the suppression, you'll see it on your screen, enemy suppressed. It gives you like 5 points, and it'll do that based off of how many enemies are in the area. So if you suppress 3 enemies, that's plus 15. It'll tell you X3, so that way you know you suppressed. Now let's talk about the setup. You can play any class for this. I recommend doing support, primarily for 2 reasons. One, ammo, unlimited ammo, and also you also get the what's it called? What's that gadget called? The deployable cover, because you're gonna need this. And moving on, the weapon of choice I recommend is gonna be the M60. Reason why you want the M60 is because you need to mag dump, but you need to mag dump at a slower rate. These other LMGs, they're good, but the problem is that you're going to mag dump way too quickly, and you're going to be reloading way too much. Because the goal is you need to be missing your shots. You can't kill the target until you get the suppression notification on your screen. So if you're that's why I said, if you're an accurate player, this is going to be annoying. You're going to be tanking your KD a little bit. Well, actually, my KD actually went up when I did this, believe it or not. Because the enemies just kept running into my bullets. But I recommend the M60 because it has a slow rate of fire, and it's the only LMG outside of the L110 that has 100 mag, or 100 box mag, whatever you want to call it. And this one has a much higher fire rate, so that's why you don't want to use that. But this one would more than likely get the job done. Like I said, I've never used the LMG. I've never used the M60 before, and I managed to level this up, or managed to get it done, or at least get 20 in one match with this LMG with practically no attachment. So it really, any LMG will get it done, but I recommend the M60. Now let's talk about the maps and the modes. You want to lobby surf Empire State Breakthrough. All right, so how do you do that? You're going to go over down the multiplayer section. You're going to hit custom search, Breakthrough. You're going to check off Breakthrough, make sure all this other stuff is unchecked, and then you're only going to check Empire State. Now when you queue this, I can't stress this enough. You need to queue on defense. Do not try to do this on attacking. Just don't do it. I tried it on attacking. Not only were my teammates just utter garbage, but we were just getting pushed through. I couldn't get suppressions, and it's just me constantly getting pushed in every 2 seconds. So do this on defense. All right. Now that you know the setup, you know what map you need to play. I'm going to show you some gameplay on how this actually works. Now in this first area, you can see I'm kind of just hosing them down in this little choke point right here. This is essentially the first area that you want to go ahead and try to get some suppression kills. You can see it wasn't quite working out for me here because our teammates were pretty far pushed up, but you want to make sure that you are aiming and shooting at choke points. And like I said, in this gameplay, there wasn't really many people that were coming down this area, but I just wanted to show this to you guys because this does become a pretty heavy choke point sometimes. So this is definitely one spot. These apartment buildings in the back are definitely a pretty solid spot. Now for the next area, we're going to go ahead and showcase a pretty solid spot. Once your teammates get pushed back a little bit further, you'll want to exit the apartment buildings, come down to where I'm aiming right now, and just suppress. You can see I am pretty much spamming smoke here, or the teammates are spamming smoke. I actually didn't really need to use it. And you just want to shoot through the smoke down this lane. Guarantee you there will be people that are going to try to jump on the A flag. And then once you notice that people are on the A flag, you can see I start looking at the map and I notice that there's people there. I'm now going to start shooting in the direction of the flag of where I would usually sit to try and cap it. So you can see there's one there. One guy tried to cross. So now I'm going to start pre-firing right around the corner of that bus right there. You can see I'm shooting right through it. And eventually here, I actually did get a pretty large chunk of suppression assists here. And like I said, this is why you want a slower rate of fire LMG. This is going to help you mag dump in a much longer period of time, so that way you can get the suppression assist. You can see I know there's a guy right there. So I'm going to start shooting here. I destroyed the equipment, and right about, I think after I reloaded here is where I got like a pretty decent chain of it. You can see there it is, ×3. I suppressed 3 people right there, and I even got this suppression assist and kill. So right here, you could either fall back or you could stick around a little bit further. I decided to stick around just a couple more seconds to try and get some more suppression assist. And right then and there, I noticed my teammates are pretty much dying off, so I decided to run back and head to the next defense point. I'm going to show you guys the next spot. Now for the third spot on defense on Empire State, you're going to go over to the third story of the building that I'm in right now, drop a barricade. There's only 3 main choke points that they're going to come from. One of them is the main one in mid right here, and you guys can see I'm just going to pretty much hose down these guys in the back, and you can see I'm getting suppression over here. This guy is trying to peek me, just go ahead and suppress him. And like I said, your goal is not necessarily to hit the player. You just want to make sure that he is suppressed. That's really all you care about, and that's all you're here for. And like I said, you got to get 300 of these. But following this strat will net you at the very least 20 suppressions per game. You could probably even get more. Like I said, I've seen some pretty crazy choke points where there's like 20 people holding it down in one area. So you can honestly get up to 50 if you're even lucky doing this strat. But like I said, all I'm doing is just shooting down this general path, this general area, and it is netting me a pretty decent amount of suppression assists. So literally, like I said, hold down mouse button 1 or left bumper, whatever you want to call it, and this will be able to get this job done easier here. So yeah, as I mentioned, just go ahead and follow this one out. There is one more choke point that I am going to show you guys towards the end, but this choke point here is pretty solid, and you'll be able to get probably another 10, maybe even 15, especially if the enemy is having trouble pushing up. If they're pushing up, then that's where this becomes a little bit more difficult, and you'll have to wait till the last choke point. So let me go ahead and showcase to you guys the last choke point where you can go ahead and get this done. Now for the last spot here, you want to go ahead and head over to the point where I am standing right now. You can see I suppressed that guy. That worked out. And right in this little grass territory here, you'll want to drop a barricade right where I'm standing. And if you notice, there are people that are on the balcony that are in the back. This one's going to be a little bit tough to manage because, you know, they're on a head glitch too. But you guys can see right where I'm shooting right now, enemy suppression ×2. There are generally people that are going to be sitting up there, and that's the last choke point that I recommend you guys try to hold down mouse button 1 to get your suppression assist. Like I said, this one's a little bit more difficult because of the fact that the way the enemies play, and you're leaving yourself a lot more exposed. But otherwise, this was probably the 4 best suppression spots that I recommend to get this done. Like I said, this one is probably not going to take very long to get done if you follow this strat. If you notice your teammates are getting absolutely pounded, I recommend just leaving the lobby and re-queue, because it's just not going to be a fun time for you, and you're just going to be wasting your time. So you want to make sure that you have good defense to try and get this done, and you'll be able to get a decent amount. Obviously, the longer the game lasts, the better it goes. But anyways, guys, thank you guys for all the love and support. I will catch you guys in the next one. It is your boy Primitive AK signing out. Peace out, fellas.